Evening, everybody. Vegas Rosie returns. Week 10 college football and week 9 for pro NFL. And thank you to those of you who will be here tonight and the many people who will watch this afterward because, well, you want to listen to what I have to say. Not that I'm bragging or anything, but I have had a very good year betting college football. I put opinions on pro ball, but I don't bet pro football. Now, why would that be the case? Because of parity, because of parity, because of parity. And I don't believe that I defy you to find any pro sports handicapper that's able to give you an accurate record of what their bets were for college, not for college, but for NFL. What's up, you? So there's my challenge to anybody out there that can point to one sports handicapper out there that is definitely going to beat my record. When it comes to college football, I'll put that against anybody that's analyzing and doing games regularly. I am Vegas Rosie, YouTube's one and only trans sports analyst here. Dropping a like. Thank you, Dallas Plain, and welcome to you, Thomas. Good to see you tonight. It was how you doing, Amanda? It was a very interesting week. We had a good week. We went 8-5. Should have gone 10-3. We got backdoored in the last minute on a couple of the games, but we're undaunted. We've moved that to 51, and I think it's 38 on the season for college football. It's good. As usual, though, we're going to start with the pro game, and if you want to know about some of my thoughts on how things are rounding into form, going in as we start, and we're going deeper into the second half of the year here, please, by all means, go back and watch the Wednesday when I do the rants and the updates about how we did on the weekend. So let's go ahead and see what's on the NFL docket. This week, we got the NFL odds coming up for the week of, this will be week number 9 as we move deeper into the second half of the season. And I like to use DraftKings. I think they have the most up to date lines, and they'll also oftentimes give you a look at the other games. We got the Philadelphia Eagles playing tomorrow against the Houston Texans, and we got the Philadelphia Eagles laying 14 points going into Houston. I don't really see an issue with this game. The Philadelphia Eagles have been the cock of the walk of the NFL this year. And it's Houston, they've won some games, but they're pretty lumpy. Still, 14 points is a lot to lay in this game. The over-under is 45 points, which kind of surprises me. And it kind of tells me most of the scoring is going to be on the Philadelphia side. And the Philadelphia defense, which is pretty fan-fucking-tastic, is going to be keeping Houston pretty much bottled up at their end of the field. I'm going to make a prediction. There won't be many times that the Houston Texans cross the 50-yard lines on offense. I'll make a further prediction and tell you any scores that they're likely to get are likely to be on defensive turnovers at the expense of the Eagles there. So laying 14 points is a huge number in the NFL, and it's something that I generally don't like to do. But when are you going to, if not now, when are you going to stand up for an elite team? And this is the time to do it. Could it be a little closer? I'd be a little closer if it was 10 and a half, something like that. I'd be a little buy down the hook and have it at 10. Buffalo Bills laying 12 and a half at New York, at the New York Jets. New York Jets surprised me with their loss last week. Okay, I don't really. You can see my analysis on Wednesday if you want to check that out. So, Bills laying 12 and a half points on the road, playing in New Jersey. They're playing the Jets. Boy, what a tough call for me. What a tough call. Yeah, the Astros win tonight. Pushes out the 2 games to 2. You know what? I don't know. 12 and a half points is a lot of points. And I know that Buffalo's the cock of the walk in the AFC and the Philadelphia Eagles are the cock of the walk in the NFC this season. But I don't know. I have a feeling playing at home, Buffalo could have their work cut out for them. So I would be apt to take the 12 and a half points and figure that the Jets are going to do it up this weekend. Now, mind you, I don't bet NFL. These are just some of my thoughts on the game. The Minnesota Vikings at the Washington Commanders. Be careful. Be careful, Minnesota. The Washington Commanders have been a tripwire, man. They have started to get it together. Defense is playing well. They got some wins under the belt now. And Minnesota Vikings better sure as hell. What's up, Queenstown? The Minnesota Vikings better be careful in this one, laying 3.5 points. Now, hey, Nippy. Thank you, honey. I don't know what's with notifications, but a lot of people watch this in the after chat, watch it on replay. I don't know. You know, I'm surprised it's only 3.5 points that Minnesota's laying. All of a sudden, the respect level for the Commanders has gone sky high. Have anybody noticed that the last 3 weeks that we've been tightening from the dog in the league to all of a sudden we got to take the Commanders seriously out there? I don't know. I'm still going to say the Vikings laying the 3.5 points, but I think it's going to be more of a game than people think. Miami Dolphins laying 5 going into the Chicago Bears. I got to tell you again. Fields, I said at the beginning of the season, the first couple games, no freshman quarterback's going to come into the league and look like a house of fire. Maybe Lamar Jackson. Fields is a young Lamar Jackson. Okay. Now his confidence is starting to rise. He understands that he doesn't have to always think about the play. He can run the ball a little bit too, which throws the defense off guard and opens up the passing game a little bit. Okay? And I'm just thinking when it comes to Fields and the Chicago Bears playing at home against the Miami Dolphins, the Dolphins are laying 5 points in that game. Wow, the matchups are really tough this week. Really brutal. Really brutal. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I wouldn't be surprised if Chicago Bears put a little bit of a bink on the Miami Dolphins. I don't know what Tua's deal is going to be. He can move the ball, but I'll tell you, Fields is starting to find his meter as an NFL quarterback. Green Bay Packers laying 4 going in to play the Detroit Lions. I don't know. Green Bay's tired. They're losing a step. Rodgers is not happy. It's like a Tom Brady situation. Just let the season be over. Calgon, take me away from all this mess. Should Green Bay be able to take care of the Detroit Lions? I don't think in 10 years, possibly 15 years, I don't think the Packers have beaten the Detroit Lions. Okay. I'm not sure if this is the weekend it's going to start or not, but I would say if you're Green Bay, watch out going in to play the Lions, because I think they're going to play loose. They know that they're not playoff bound this year, but they know they can spoil the hell out of Green Bay. Carolina Panthers at Cincinnati Bengals laying 7.5 points at home. Cincinnati. Ooh. Once again, we come to a situation where Cleveland just stuffed the shit out of Cincinnati on Monday night. Okay. Cincinnati, what do we call it, Queenstown kid? We call it a lumpy team. We call it a damn lumpy performance when it comes to the season. Up and down and up and down and up and down. Good night, Jeff. And I think that the Cleveland Browns are going to end up pulling ahead. Don't know if they'll take first place from the Ravens, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're pulling ahead in the year. And Carolina Panthers have been playing better too. I don't know. We got some really, really brutal matchups this week. So, do you take Carolina laying the 7.5? No, I've got to go with the Bengals at home, laying the 7.5 points. I cannot take the Panthers on the road there. LA Chargers and Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons are getting 3.5 points at home. I think I'm going to take the Falcons in this situation. Colts playing the New England Patriots are laying 5.5 points at home against the Colts. I think that's a doable deal there. I would tend to favor the Patriots at home. The Raiders, I don't know. The ghost of Al Davis. What the hell can I say? Bobby and I, my friend, we used to laugh over the years about the Raiders. Because Al Davis would come out after every Raiders game that they lost and he would complain about the referees. The referees are terrible. They should be reported. Right? And we're talking about starting in the 1970s and into the 80s. All right. Those referees in those union meetings, it went without saying. They would look at each other and say, who's got the Raiders games this year? And every single call that could go against the Raiders would go against the Raiders. Whether it's the placement of the ball, the defensive pass interference that wasn't called, the touchdown that didn't make it across the goal line, although the replays clearly showed that it made it across. Right, the ghost of Al Davis, rises up. And I just don't know. It's just the curse of many years. And I don't know if the Raiders are going to be able to do it in Jacksonville. I'm not talking about the Knicks tonight, Tom. Seattle Seahawks at Arizona Cardinals. The Seahawks are getting 2 points going into Arizona. I think that's a strong bet. I think the Seahawks are pretty much going to cover that, go more than 2 points against the Cardinals. Okay, even though the Cardinals are pretty decent, Seahawks are really looking like a team in the NFC West, okay? LA Rams and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know. Flip a coin. Rams are getting 3 points going into Tampa Bay. I don't really like either of the teams. I wouldn't put a damn thin dime on the game if I were you guys. So flip a coin. And Tennessee Titans at the Kansas City Chiefs. Tennessee's been playing pretty good, and they're getting 12.5 points going into Kansas City. 12.5 points. Now, mind you, I don't bet NFL because of parity issues and things like that. But I got a feeling. How you doing, Kelly? I have a feeling it's going to be a it's going to be a Tennessee Titans fiesta in Kansas City, because you go in there, you're getting almost what? 13 points. That's a hell of a lot of points to get in pro football, okay? And you know, Tennessee's getting points like they're some kind of chumps in the NFL or something. All right. Who's having trouble this year is like the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay. Monday night, the Ravens and the Saints. I don't see any reason the Ravens, they'll be on the road the rest of the year. Ravens are great on the road. They're terrible at home, but they find a way to win on the road. And I would expect that they'll take care of business against the Saints, but it could be a damn good game. Let's get on to college football, because that's where we make our money. Okay, it's football. Let's just take it right down, and I'll tell you what we're betting for the week, because we've been doing pretty good. We talked about Miami, the Bears, Kelly, and I'm thinking, and I'm just going to recap this for you. Okay. Fields is starting to feel what it's like. He's starting to get adjusted to the speed of the pro game and the athleticism of the pro game. This is going to be a real test for him against the Miami Dolphins. Okay. this could potentially push Chicago into having the mindset that they can beat any team in the NFL. So I'm going to be particularly keyed on this game here. And I can't remember what the hell I said the spread was, but it's going to be an interesting game. UTEP at Rice, who cares? Appalachian, who cares? Duke at Boston College. Duke laying 9.5 points against Boston College. Anybody who has followed my handicapping this season knows that Duke has been week in, week out, week in and week out, a great money maker for us on betting, because they always find a way to be in the game. They might just nudge it out at the end for a victory. But for a team that was sucking ass last year, they're looking gold this year. So we're going to take Duke laying the 9.5 points at Boston College. And at home, Boston College plays a little bit tougher. Massachusetts and UConn, who cares? Oregon State and the Washington Huskies. Unfortunately, Mr. Z kind of mangled this bet. He took Oregon, okay, instead of Oregon State. Okay. Oregon, how you doing, Eric? Okay, so we're riding Oregon. We're laying 31 points playing Colorado. It's not the bet I wanted, but we got to ride with it. Okay, the bet I wanted was Oregon State laying 4.5 points going in to play the Huskies. I think Oregon State is a pretty damn good team. I think the Huskies have been nothing but just a downhill. How you doing, Luce? I think the Huskies just barely eked by Cal. Didn't cover the spread. I mean, it's just I'm not a bad Husky football this year. Sorry. I know they're playing at home, but how charged up is the crowd going to be? How charged up is the crowd going to be at Washington Stadium when Oregon State comes to play? They're not going to be charged up. What are they playing for? Not a damn thing in there, okay? So I'm going to say Oregon State can do it up there and take the 4.5 points. You're getting 4.5 points to go in and rip the Huskies a new one. Air Force and Army, I don't know. Really, guys? Right? I mean, who do you want? You want Air Force, Lumpy? What do you want to do, Luce? What do you want to do? Call it out there. I don't have a bet on that game. Texas Tech and TCU. I don't think we have a bet. I think we're off of TCU this week because TCU's laying 9.5 points at home against Texas Tech. I don't know. We just laid off of this game here. My inclination, though, is to continue to take TCU. Do I think that they could be NCAA champions? No, I don't think so. Can they be one of the elite teams? They've already proven they can be. Dugan, the quarterback. Big Husky bastard, can do it all with the ball, run with the ball, everything. My big problem with TCU is their defense. All right. Man, if their offense ever runs into a situation where they're hard-pressed to get up points, ooh. That defense is going to be very problematic for TCU. That's just the way I see it. Okay. So when you're playing at home against Texas Tech and you're laying 9.5 points, I guess I'll roll with TCU. All right. Only because, and that's a lot of points, man. 9.5 points. Only because they've consistently found a way to get the job done this season. And when you stick with something with the church of what's working now, you stay with it. You find something that's working, you stick with it. North Carolina and Virginia. What did we do? We on this one we did the under 59.5 on this game. Now, why did I take North Carolina, who's an elite team this season? They've been doing really well when they're playing Virginia, because Virginia has shown that they got some good defense. Okay, I don't believe that North Carolina is going to be running up to. I think Virginia's going to have a hell of a time scoring. And I don't think that North Carolina is gonna be rolling up the score on Virginia. Sorry, I've seen Virginia too many times this year. Okay. I'm very comfortable. We took the under 59.5 on that game. I might be eating crow. Wouldn't be the first time this season. Sometimes you gotta grab your sack, grab your nuts, get in there, and figure out how you think the game's going to play. Okay. Kentucky at Missouri. Who was on Missouri last week? Oh, the Gamecocks. Oh, Spencer Rattler. You did so good against Texas A&M. You were just wonderful. Are you doing anything Saturday night? Not winning a fucking football game. Talk about a team flying under the radar screen, and ain't nobody talking about Missouri. And yet this team has got a staunch, kick-ass defense, and they do just enough on offense to hang in every game that they're in. Okay? They're going in to play Kentucky, who has not impressed me. Okay, so we went with Missouri. We're laying. It's now become a picket. Okay? Yeah, great acting skills. Got to go with Missouri. I think Kentucky's just been dismantled mentally, physically. What are they coming at? Hey, Jose, what are they coming at to play for? Certainly not a national championship. Look at Missouri. They're starting to. I think I can. I think we can. We do. We kick your ass. Okay? That line really changed. Okay? Because Missouri's steaming right now. Can you believe you were getting 2 points when we laid our bet? You were getting 2 points with Missouri, and now it's a picket. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the definition of steaming right there. Okay? Respect defense when they come to play. Now, they are also playing at home in Missouri, and the crowd is going to be fired up in Missouri. All right, Maryland and Wisconsin. Maryland's, you're getting 5 points going into Wisconsin. Ooh. Wisconsin was like top 10, and then woo. And they started coming up, and they started kicking ass again and taking care of business. I have a little bit of a feeling that Maryland might be in for an ass kicking in Wisconsin. I'm just saying. Terps had a bye week. They're kind of, they've had a decent season. They're very competitive. They're a good team. They're the only team that gave Michigan a game this year. Agreed, Luce? They're the only team that went into the big house and gave Michigan a game at home. But all of a sudden, Wisconsin, I don't know what the hell they did. Let me see something from last week. Yeah, I haven't bet any on Wisconsin this year at all. But all of a sudden, They seem to be getting the job done. So I don't like Maryland's chances going into Wisconsin. I don't know what the weather situation is going to be up there, but whatever the situation is, it's not going to favor Maryland in that situation. Okay? I'm just saying. If Maryland wins that game, will I be shocked? Yeah, I probably will be. All right. Iowa and Purdue. Did we do anything on this? No, but I do have thoughts on Iowa and Purdue because the over-under is 41 points on this. Iowa is getting 4.5 points to play in Purdue, go to Purdue. Iowa's got a good defense, and I don't know, they've started to score a little bit. Because of all the teams that you watch in college football, Iowa's the most frustrating because you feel so sorry for that defense. Because they're on the field like 3/4 of the game. All right, and they're playing their guts out. And they're holding tough against Ohio State for like half. And then they just crumple like a cheap suit in the second half. All right. You've got to have 61 Sunday in Madison. Okay, I don't know. I'm still going to take Wisconsin. All right. How you doing, Lee? I'm still going to take Wisconsin. You know, I just think Wisconsin's one of the rare teams that grabbed its nuts and started playing football again because they were getting embarrassed, let's face it. They dropped out of the top 10. And I don't know how far they plummeted. Who in the hell knows? Right? Send Toledo in. Right? Fucking, test it out. All right. So Iowa getting 4.5 points and going into, I don't know. Oh, what do you think on that? Loose the over/under on that? I don't know. I guess I just don't have a thought on the Iowa-Purdue. I just think it's two evenly matched teams. I give an offensive edge to Purdue, but I give a defensive edge to Iowa. But how much of a pounding is the Iowa defense taking? I don't know. Right? They've been getting the shit slapped out of them week after week after week, and the offense is 3 and out. The only points they've been scoring is because the defense is coughing up the ball, causing turnovers on the offense and stuff like that. So I don't know. I guess I lean towards Purdue. I don't know. Minnesota and Nebraska, we don't have anything on this. Minnesota, you're laying 16 points going into Nebraska. I don't know. I started the first 5 games of the year. I was the biggest 6 games of the year. I was the biggest Minnesota Golden Gophers cheerleader on planet Earth. Well, other teams started looking at the game films and things, and they figured out the Gophers. And besides having offensive issues, the defenses started to not perform the way they were at the beginning of the year. 16 points. I don't know. It's not Illinois going in there. I don't know. I don't have a bet on it. But I would think, if I was thinking about it, yeah, take the Purdue. And as far as Nebraska playing at home with Minnesota coming in, it's kind of a game where there's no love lost between Nebraska, Minnesota, and I think this is where Nebraska is going to have to make their stand. It's just the way I feel about things. Let me see what I had. We had the under 50.5. Well, we cashed both ways. Illinois laying 7 and Illinois and Nebraska under 50.5. So For this game, I don't know. I have a hard time seeing this game go over. I don't know. I guess if I was going to bet it, and I'm not, I guess I would take the under 46.5 on this game, figuring it the Gophers are going to be tough enough on defense to maybe give up 14, 17 points, and maybe they'll score 28, 30 points. I don't know. I just have a feeling it's going to probably go under. I don't see the Gophers going crazy on offense in this one. I don't know. They could shock the shit out of me and do it up. All right. Florida and Texas A&M. I don't know. Jimbo. God. Why am I left with these? Why? Florida and Texas A&M. Why? Yes, I'm leaning towards Nebraska in that. Florida and Texas A&M. Let this cup pass from me. Two teams that I just equally dislike. Okay. Although Texas A&M, once they stopped pissing down their leg in the South Carolina game, they played pretty tight the rest of the three quarters. I think Florida's turned into a bit of a dumpster fire this year. But still, that freshman offensive line for Texas A&M still bothers me a little bit. Okay? They've been playing way over their heads, better than they should be playing. But I just happen to think that Florida is just a little bit more together of a team. And you get 3 points if you're Florida and you're going in to play Texas A&M. I think people want to see Jimbo Fisher out of his mind. Okay? All right. I think that they want to see this fucking guy go crazy. All right. They want to see this guy lose. Because he's making big money down there. Now, he's got a lot of injuries. I don't know who's coming back. I have no idea. It's going to be one of those pick 'em games. I just don't know. All right. If you put a gun to my head, I would be apt to go with Florida and taking the 3 points and going in. Tulane and Tulsa, who cares? Ohio State and Northwestern. Ohio State, you're laying 38 points. Yeah, I'm leaning towards the Gators in that. Leaning. Not betting it. Ohio State and Northwestern, I don't know. Punching bag. Right. Speed bag drill. Is Northwestern going to score? I don't know. I'll be surprised if Northwestern gets more than 10 points, which means that Ohio State has to put up 48 points. Is it doable? Yeah. But damn, man, 38 points. Okay, which I don't understand. The over-under is 57.5. It just tells me it's all Ohio State. So, guess so. Yeah, it sounds like Polster. I'm leaning. That's exactly right. I'm not taking any game where I'm laying or taking 38 points. I drank that Kool-Aid with Auburn and Alabama. I ain't going down that road again. All right? No way. Watching that goddamn quarterback from Auburn can't do shit. All right? Western Kentucky and Charlotte, who cares? All right, they stick a fork in the Hilltoppers. You know, they've come back down to earth. Everybody remembers that game that they scored 70.5 points, right? And they've lived with that. Duke against Boston College. Oh, how'd that get up there? Let's see. Yeah, I don't care. Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech. Did we have anything on the text? The text? We did not. It's 3 points either way. They're playing in Blacksburg. I don't know. I just have the feeling that Virginia Tech can take care of it. It's a tough stadium to go into. One of the four toughest stadiums to play in college football. The Big House in Michigan, the Horseshoe, the Whiteout, okay, in Penn State, and you got to put Virginia Tech at home, and I would also add Florida State. Five really bitchy plays. They won outright. That's great. That's great, Luce. I didn't have anything on that. Central Michigan is just, you know, I'm so soured on Central Michigan. So I would say Virginia Tech, I think, should be able to do it at home. I don't have anything bad. South Florida Temple, who cares? Marshall and Old Dominion. No, I scratched that one off. We skipped that one. We decided not to take that one. Marshall, I don't know. I don't know which Marshall's going to show up. I'm not going to do it. Baylor and Oklahoma. Baylor getting 3.5 points against Oklahoma. Yeah, we took Baylor to 3.5 points against Oklahoma on that, because I think Baylor has been a pretty solid team. Okay. And I don't think that they've ever got their ass blasted out of a game. And I don't think Oklahoma is going to be the one to do it. Now, they are playing at Oklahoma, but I think Baylor has proven they can handle the road without a lot of issues. It's 3.5 points we're getting. And we'll just take the son of a bitch points there. Grab your nuts and hope that Baylor gets it done. Middle Tennessee and Louisiana Tech, who cares? Georgia State, Southern Miss, who cares? Tennessee and Georgia. Ooh. Now we get to the marquee matchup that everybody wants to see. Tennessee and Georgia. I guess this is the national championship right here. Could be. Right here. At Georgia. The crowd is going to be insane. Insane. Will Tennessee be able to hold up? Hendon Hooker has shown that he can go into any kind of situation and play football. But Georgia, now we're getting to real quality, like Michigan. Now we're getting to now we got the guys that aren't playing in short pants. Now we got the real men here. Yeah, I'm just saying, Luce. I'm just saying, for me, safer for me in this game. I can't, Tennessee, you're getting 8 points to go into Georgia. It's too frightening to me. Ooh, it's like the Great Pumpkin rising. Okay, it's too scary for me. Right? I can't find them to grab them on this game. So, but one thing I feel confident of, the over-under is 66 points on this. Okay. I have a feeling Tennessee's defense has been rounding into form. Georgia's defense has been good. I think both of these offenses are capable, but I think that the defense is going to be a frustrating factor for the offenses on both sides of the ball. Would I be surprised if Tennessee won at Georgia? Yeah, probably would be. I'm taking the 8, going to ride with Tennessee. I think that's probably a pretty good bet. I don't have that nutsack. So what do we do, Luce? We took the under 66 on this game, and I feel pretty good about it. If they go over 66, we're talking about we're talking about defenses that have rounded into form here. Plenty of time to study these game films. They know each other's offenses like the back of their hand. This game is going to ride on the defenses. All right, and the athleticism that these quarterbacks bring, and I would give the edge to Hendon Hooker when it comes to being able to run the ball and pull a rabbit out of your ass when you need to be. Nut reduction. You got some kind of set on you, Luce. But I'll tell you, we've ridden with Tennessee, and you know my heart's there. But I'm going to put my money on the under, and I'm going to cheer too. Okay? All right. Penn State and Indiana. I don't think we put anything on this particular game. Penn State's laying 14 against Indiana. Indiana at home. Indiana's kind of been a dumpster fire, but I don't really care about it. Neither one of these teams has gone anywhere. The Michigan Wolverines broke the back of Penn State. Okay. Okay, I just don't think that they're going anywhere. I don't really give a shit about Indiana. I like the state, but I don't like the way that the football team is played. No bet for me on this particular game. Okay? I'm going to move the line to with the Doyle. Yeah, there you go. Michigan State at Illinois. Michigan State, you're getting 17.5 points going into play at Illinois. Ooh, shit, I hate 17.5 points. But it's a tribute to Illinois, who's what, 7-1 this season? They should be 8-0, but they got ripped off by officiating in the first game of the season. As we know, Luce, at Indiana, they got ripped off. All right, bad calls, shitty refs. Should they be able to do it up against Michigan State? Yeah, because they got a great defense. All right, and Michigan State does not. So 17.5 points seems doable. Unless Michigan State on the road pulls a rabbit out of their ass, I don't see any reason. Yeah, it might do the money line. Oof. What's the money line on that, Lewis? What's the money line on Tennessee? I'd love to hear what the money line is on that. So, well, I can tell you right here, the money line is plus 240. I don't like the 285 on Georgia. Right? No, 285 to win 100. You can kiss my ass on that one. No. All right, let's move along. Oklahoma and Kansas, did we do? Let's see, Oklahoma and 10, making sure we didn't have this one. It's another one I don't really give a flying you know what about. Oklahoma State at Kansas. Oklahoma State -2. I don't know what the hell happened to Oklahoma State. They looked like a bag of crap out there. What an embarrassing game. I had money. Let me remind you guys what the K-State Oklahoma State game was. All right, we had a good week last week, okay? Let me just tell you this. What the hell is that? Oklahoma State was a 1.5 points dog going into Kansas. And what did they lose? 38-0? Fuck. The thing you got to remember is most of those points came on defensive turnovers when Oklahoma State pissed the ball away. All right. Yeah, it was a good week last week. Now, what does that mean for this week? I think I'm going to go out on a limb. Oklahoma State, you're laying 2 points. We're not betting it. I wouldn't put my money on this game. But I would look for Oklahoma State to bounce back because I'm going to tell you they're embarrassed as shit. And I don't think Kansas is that great. All their early hype. Kansas is great again. And bullshit. All right. Now this is the game that Mr. Z bet by accident here. He took Oregon laying the 31.5 points against Colorado. I don't know. We just have to live with it, all right? I wanted the Oregon State, we know how that goes, okay? but we got to live with it. Am I comfortable with it? Am I comfortable with it? I don't think so. But I got to ride with it. I don't know. I mean, how much is Dan Landing going to be willing to beat up on a Colorado Buffaloes? I don't know. These are not two teams that historically dislike each other. There's no bad blood between these two teams. You're going to be very, very, very hard pressed to stretch that out to 31.5 points, but I guess they'll do it. Because I don't see Colorado moving the football. Okay? If they score 7 points or 3 points, it's going to be a miracle. They might get it in the fourth quarter when the second, giving some reps for the depth chart, pulling some guys in. I don't know. I hate these big ass lays it takes. I can't stand these things. Because you're sitting there sweating your ass off. You got 28 points. And all of a sudden, here comes the C squad. You're like, oh, shit. And Colorado's like, we're not going to lose this spread. Get out there and play. I've been backdoored a few times. I'm just saying. Yeah, how much are the Ducks going to run it up? You're really going to tell me that Bo Nix is going to be in there the whole game? I can almost guarantee you he's not going to be in the fourth quarter. I might be the kind of guy that says, I'm here to play every quarter. I'm not sitting down on the bench. Grab your nuts. Don't piss down your leg. You guys know the way I feel about Oregon. Under the radar. Plus 4,000 futures. To me, this quarterback is scary good for Oregon. Scary good. I think he's so much better than J.J. McCarthy, so much better than Stroud and the whole fucking crew. All right, style points do matter, exactly. Do not neglect Oregon. We always got this hard-on fixation for the SEC. Now, this week, for the first time in I don't know how many decades, Tennessee sits atop the college football rankings. Maybe you better take a picture of that. I don't know. I don't know, Luce. They might be flying a little bit higher right now. I don't know. They might need to be clipped a little bit here. I just don't know. And of all the teams I had to put them against, besides the Ducks, Georgia's the one. I don't know about Michigan. I still don't know about Michigan. I can't get a feel on Michigan. Isn't that crazy? We're going into week 10 and I got no idea what Michigan football is about. I don't know. They could go in there and get slaughtered at Georgia or, Alabama. I have no idea. All right. It's just they have just a weird schedule. I don't know. Syracuse at Pittsburgh. We took Syracuse plus the 3 points against Pittsburgh. Syracuse needs a bounce back game. They're mad. They're embarrassed. They pissed down their leg last week. And I don't think Pittsburgh's a dumpster fire. I don't like Nardello. I don't like the whole deal up there. Hey, Thomas. I didn't like him from game 1 against West Virginia. And I loved the way the Tennessee beat the hell out of them when they went in there. Week 2. All right. Just something about, coaches got to go there. Just like Dan Brown. Well, I don't know if Dan Brown's got. I don't know. I'm not going to talk about West Virginia. But I'm going to say this. I'm not a Caden Slovis fan, Pittsburgh. This kid was a blowout in the transfer portal. I hated Bo Nix with his arrogant ass coming through the transfer portal from Auburn. But I'm a son of a bitch if this kid hadn't stepped up and made a believer of me. I mean, this kid will stand in the pocket. This kid's got some great play sets too, some beautiful fakes. His trapping draw is an unbelievable play. And I've never seen a team that doesn't fall for it. Okay? I don't want to get all caught up on that, but I'm just saying I'm going to take Syracuse in a bounce back game. I'm getting 3.5 points going into Pittsburgh. I'll take it. Might get my ass kicked, but I think Syracuse is on a mission, and they're going to be awful angry when they get down to Pittsburgh. There, New Mexico and Utah State, who cares? UCF at Memphis. Damn, man. UCF. What do we have? They cost us last week. Yeah, we had Cincinnati. You know how I feel about the Bearcats. Cincinnati. Man, which UC, will the real UCF stand up? One week they're getting their asses kicked by East Carolina. The next week they're kicking, they're kicking they're kicking Cincinnati's ass. I don't know. Right. UCF and Memphis, you definitely got to take the points. The 3.5 points against Memphis. And do UCF pitching? Yeah, Houston pitching. It's all knotted up 2-2. Washington at Stanford. Washington has a pretty good defense. Washington State. All right. Stanford has had a really hard time putting up points. Stanford defense is doing a little better. We went out on a limb here. We took Washington to Stanford under 48.5 points. I think it's going to come in like 24 to 21 or 24 to 18, something like that. 24 to 17. All right, so we took the under 48.5. I did that already, Moose. You have to scroll back to the beginning on that. I covered that first. All right, West Virginia at Iowa State. I don't care. West Virginia is getting 7 points going into Iowa State. Liberty and Arkansas. This is interesting. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. I don't think Stanford's been gelling a little bit here. And I don't see Stanford rolling against Washington. So I think it's going to be... I'm not uncomfortable with the under on that. All right, 24, 21, I don't know, something like that. I don't think it's going to be a big high-scoring affair. I think this game's going to be between the 20s. It's going to be a 60-yard football field. Okay, I just don't think they're going to have an easy time moving it. I want to talk about this Liberty and Arkansas. Liberty's getting 13.5 points going into Arkansas. I like the way this game's setting up. Now we've had some steaming here. It was 14 points. Now it's 13.5. Liberty is one of these under the radar screen teams. They're like a little James Madison-esque. Maybe a little better than James Madison because the wheels have fallen off that card because of the division. But I'm not sure that Liberty's an inferior product going into Arkansas, and I'm sure as hell I'm not convinced that they're 13.5 points inferior to Arkansas. Sorry. Arkansas is too lumpy, too busted up. So we took Liberty, we took the points, and well, we'll grab our nuts and we'll sweat it out. It won't be the first time. Right? Makes for some long ass days. But the other thing, I don't think 64 points, the over in this makes no sense to me at all. 64 points, I don't know. But we're gonna take Liberty and the points here. Navy at Cincinnati, I don't care. South Alabama, Georgia Southern, who cares? Troy, did we take Troy? I don't think we took Troy here, although I do like Troy. Did I take that? We didn't, but we didn't put a bet on Troy this week. Texas State, ULM, who cares? Alabama and LSU. Ooh, Alabama and LSU. I'm liking the way this is setting up. LSU at home. Alabama's a little bit shaky. I'm not a really big fan of the quarterback situation there. Bryce Young, I'm not a big fan. I think LSU is going to have pressure on him. And I think that this is the week, possibly, that the wheels really come off of the Alabama cart for 2022-23. We know they've lost a step. They're not the Alabama we knew. But could you be any more insulting by 13.5 points at home? The way LSU has just stepped up week after week after week. Let me go back and consult the good book for a minute here with LSU. Yeah, we had Ole Miss. Remember, 2 weeks ago we had Ole Miss, 1.5 points going in, and LSU just ripped them a new asshole. It totally blew Ole Miss off the gone. Boom. Season's over. LSU's that kind of punishing team once they get a little bit of momentum going and the crowd gets into the game and you start throwing the ball away a little bit. A little pick six here, a little pick six there, and before you know it, everybody's come a cropper. And Alabama has potentially the chance to suffer the worst defeat in years. So if I think, okay, well, we'll give you 13.5 points to beat LSU, I'll take it. Okay, and we took it. Might Alabama go in there and pick them to pieces? I don't know. But I do know one thing. Brian Kelly and LSU today, at this moment, is not the same LSU from the beginning of the year. All right. They're knocking at the door of elite level football. Okay. There it is. Texas and Kansas State. What did we do? We did this one too. Texas, Kansas State, 2.5. What do we got? Now that's, okay, that's steaming. Let me see. No, it's still 2.5 points. We took K-State and the 2.5 points at home against Texas coming in. It's going to be a dicey game. If Ewers is on target for Texas, it's going to be a long afternoon. But I'll tell you what, K-State's defense is really, yeah, that's the upset special. That could be a murder game. I don't know, Luce. K-State's defense really shocked me. I'm not overreacting. Okay. They've been pretty solid this season. Texas is coming to town. I don't even know if Texas is serious about this game or not. I don't know. But I do know one damn thing. Playing at home, I'm going to take the 2.5 points with Kansas State. and figure that this defense is going to keep K-State in this game. And that's just the way I see it. Okay? I think if I'm Texas, I'm worried. I might be pissing down my leg, going in there. K-State's defense is for real. It impressed me. We lost money. And if you beat me with money, I'm impressed. And that's one game last week where we were so off the reservation, it was ridiculous. If I fuck up, I own it. All right. Houston, SMU, I don't care. SMU's done. Houston should be able to take that at SMU. BYU and Boise State. BYU, where are you? It's a dumpster fire in Provo, Utah. I'm sorry. Boise State's not the team you're going to turn it around on. This is no. As soon as that Buckley or whatever the hell his name was hit the transfer portal for Boise State, the whole season just turned around like a rocket. Don't bet against Boise State. Don't bet against Boise State. 7.5 points at home, playing on the blue. I'm going to take Boise State. And I just think that they're gonna kick BYU's ass so hard. I could be wrong. It could be a weather situation. I don't know. But you play on the blue against a Boise team now that's like top-rated defense. You better bring your A game, brother. All right, I'm thinking 2 pick sixes. I'm imagining all kinds of shit. Turnover City, USA. Therefore, in that game, we took Boise State laying the 7.5 points at home against BYU. I'm not sleeping uncomfortably. I'm not going to give it a lot of worry because I think Boise can win by 21 points. Right? Clemson at Notre Dame. Don't have a bet on the game. But let's not be surprised if Notre Dame surprises a little bit here. All of a sudden, they're grabbing their nuts, they're going out, they're not pissing down their leg, and they're playing football, and they're playing great. Okay? Are they an elite team? No. Clemson's an elite team. Do they have the ability to surprise? Notre Dame's playing at South Bend, getting 3.5 points. This is a lot of respect. This is an incredible amount of respect. Right? I mean, the bookmakers are looking at this and saying, "Oh shit, man. Notre Dame could be up for this." It could be a very frustrating day. I'm not saying Clemson can't win, but it could be a very frustrating. Look at the over-under 44.5 points. That tells you it's going to be a struggle. Yeah, the line should be higher. So there's something going on there. The line's not steamed at all. Okay, the line is holding tight. But don't be surprised if we talk on Wednesday and we have a situation where Notre Dame upsets Clemson. It's not going to be a blowout. Maybe it will. I'll be surprised. It won't be the first time. Arizona, Utah. Ooh, let's see. We got anything on that? I don't have anything on Arizona, Utah. I'm so pissed off at the Arizona USC game. Hey, fuck, man. 1 minute to go. You're going to backdoor me with an Arizona touchdown? Come on, dude. I can't go with UC. I can't call USC an elite team. Sorry. Right? All right. I don't know if we got anything else. Auburn and Mississippi. Mississippi laying 13 against Auburn. I can see that. Florida State and Miami. Florida State laying 7.5 against Miami, Florida. Um, I don't know. I think Florida State should be able to handle that. James Madison getting 7.5 points, going into Louisville to play the Cardinals. Um, I don't know. Louisville's on fire lately. James Madison has been problematic lately. They've been a little over their head playing, and now I think they're regressing to the mean here. And I just have a feeling that Louisville's going to take care of business against them. Wake Forest and North Carolina State. I don't know how anybody can back. I don't know. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy about either of these teams. All right. NC State's had a lot of injuries and shit, and I'm not down. I got nothing to say about that game at all. UCLA and Arizona State. I'm not a big UCLA out here. And then we got California and Cal at USC. USC laying 21 points there at home against Cal. They should be able to handle that okay. People are talking about that kid that came in, Milner or whoever was the quarterback when Plummer went out for Cal. Milner came in the fourth quarter and he immediately threw for 2 touchdowns against Oregon. And there was a lot of pressure. Are we going to be playing Milner in this game and sitting down Plummer? And the coach said no. And people were upset. But you got to understand, by the fourth quarter when Milner came in, Oregon was putting their reserves in. All right. It's not the same defense that he would have faced in the first quarter. Does the kid got some chops? Yeah, the kid's got some chops. Could the kid see some play time against USC? Yeah, he could seal that lineup. I don't know. But it could be interesting. But I wouldn't lay my money on it, okay? What did we skip here? Vanderbilt. Where in the hell's the Vanderbilt? Vandy. Where is Vandy? How in the hell did I pick Vandy? I mean, where in the hell are they? Vanderbilt, where are you? Son of a bitch just disappeared. What the hell happened to Vanderbilt? Vanderbilt is playing South Carolina, right? Oh, Vanderbilt is playing South Carolina. Did we fuck up the week? I'm not even seeing the damn game. Where the hell is it? God knows what Mr. Z bet. I don't know. Oh, there it is. 4:30. South Carolina laying 7 going into Vanderbilt. I'm taking the under 49.5 here. I don't know, just because I want to. That's why. You'll see I always tend to go under. I don't think the Gamecocks are going to be doing it up against Vanderbilt. And I don't think Vanderbilt's going to be doing it up against South Carolina. They're playing at Vanderbilt, which is going to get a little bit of an edge on that too. So I'm not uncomfortable. We got 40. Actually, we were steaming. We picked it up at 49.5. It's steaming to 48.5 now. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. Right? I'm not feeling uncomfortable about that. I think that covers everything off. That we got some interesting games coming up. It's a tough week. Last week I thought was pretty cakey. This is a tough week. So there it is, guys. So I'm going to close it out now and wish you well on all of your bets. College football has been exciting. It's been fun. We have a reordering of the kingdom here with Tennessee stepping up. And TCU and Oregon, I'm really liking the way that college football. To me, it's so much more dynamic, so much more exciting. And let's hit that thumbs up button out there. So much more exciting than NFL. I almost get bored to tears these days watching watching the NFL. So that's going to do it, guys. For those of you who are watching on the after chat, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, make sure to check out the Rosie Murphy channel too. Make sure you're subscribed on there. Because I plan on traveling, and once I'm on the road, my live streams will be temporarily shifted over to the Rosie Murphy channel. Okay, so all right, good luck to everybody. Lee, with the disclaimer that nothing is ever perfect. Thank you, Jody, for posting that. There is the B channel. Make sure you're subbed up over there, because that's where the Wednesday rants and wrap-ups will be. And Sunday too. So take care, everybody. Thanks so much.